Hey guys, welcome back for another video. Today I have a little farmers market haul to share with you guys that we picked up from Margaret River in Western Australia. You guys have to check out this fresh produce. It is absolutely amazing. All grown pesticide free, locally grown, looks absolutely amazing, and the prices were unbelievable. So let me turn this around and show you guys what we picked up this morning at the Margaret River Farmers Market. So it is just a little haul because I don't have a lot of room in the fridge, but also some of this produce is absolutely massive. So we have picked up 2 kilos of oranges that are locally grown and fresh picked. We also have 2 kilos of apples. I think these are pink ladies. So the oranges were $5 for 2 kilos. The apples were $7 for the 2 kilos, but they're big apples, look absolutely beautiful. I did grab a large container of strawberries. So this was over a kilo of strawberries for $10. We did eat some of those as soon as we got them and in the car on the way home. So we've probably had a quarter, maybe a third of the huge punnet, but that was over a kilo of strawberries, fresh strawberries, pesticide free, for $10. 6 homegrown zucchinis for $4, and again they're a decent size. At the moment in the supermarket they're going for like $2.50 each, which is just absolutely crazy. I have 2 massive bunches of kale. So I've picked up a Tuscan kale, which is this one here, which is just a huge, massive, big bunch of kale. And then we've got the curly kale over here, which is like probably about the size of 3 bunches of kale that you would get from the supermarket. These were both $3 each, and this is just like a crazy amount of kale. I also grabbed a head of cauliflower. This was $3.50. Looks absolutely beautiful, and again is a nice size, but you know what, it looks so small next to the kale, but this is a decent sized head of cauliflower. Again, this is all pesticide free grown, so they didn't market it as organic, but they were as pesticide free, so I'm sure there is some sort of difference there, but homegrown, looks amazing. We also grabbed a loaf of bread. So this is a white sourdough. It's a wood-fired bread. Looks absolutely amazing. This one was $7.50, but looks absolutely beautiful. And we found a cashew cheese, or a vegan-friendly plant-based cheese, and this is a cheese and chili. So this one was a little bit of a splurge. It was $15, but absolutely amazing. Tasted so good, and I think we're going to do a little bit of a platter for lunch today. We'll probably do a little bit of this with a little bit of that, some of the fruit. But yeah, that is our little grocery haul from the farmers market at Margaret River this morning. Now I'm going to have to work out what I'm going to do with all of this kale and how I'm going to fit it in the fridge, because like that's a crazy amount of kale. That's my hand, and that's all the kale that goes for days. Pretty excited about the $3 kale. Okay, well, I've managed to get all of this fresh produce in the fridge, but we are pretty full here. So I've got the kale in 2 containers. That's just the curly kale. The whole head of cauliflower, that is some of the Tuscan kale hiding down there. We've got all of our apples, and over here is our zucchini, but I also have some other produce that also needs to be used up. So while I'm here, I'm just going to take note of everything and we'll do a meal plan. So I do have a packet of carrots. That's a kilo of carrots there. some cos lettuce. That's just one small head of cos lettuce that still needs to be used up. I do have some bananas actually in a couple of different spots that are on their last legs. So what have we got there? 5 bananas that are looking a little bit worse for wear, probably need using up. A big tub of salad mix, we usually always have that on hand, and that's half a cucumber as well. There's some more curly kale, we have kale for days. A couple of containers in the back. That one there has some beetroot, which is almost done, some hummus and some cheese, a few bits and pieces there, a couple of kiwi fruit and some tofu at the back there. That is silken tofu. So what I'm going to do right now is create a little list of everything that I have here in the fridge. I will also quickly just go through the freezer and jot down what's in here. There isn't a lot, as you can see. It's actually quite empty, so I will quickly just jot down the bits and pieces that are here. I know I've got some frozen peas, corn, sort of frozen veggies, a little bit of frozen fruit left over, a couple of wildly good cauliflower burgers there at the back, 2 packets there. There's some leftover bagels, and we will have a quick look through the pantry, which is also looking very empty. If you guys have been following along for a little while, you know the pantry doesn't normally look like this. So I've got a couple of tins of black beans down the back. The box that I keep my glass jars of pasta sauce and stuff like that in is completely empty. That's a small packet of couscous. I have some corn kernels there as well. I do have 1 pasta sauce left, but she's pretty empty here at the moment. We do have some rice, some quinoa, no pasta, lots of dry beans and lentils that I can do something with, but that's okay. I reckon there's enough good stuff here that we can come up with a meal plan for the week coming. What I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to pause this. I'm going to write all of those items down that I already have on hand, and then we'll do a little bit of brainstorming and come up with some meals for the week ahead. All right, if you are new around here, this is how I do my meal planning. It's more ideas. Yes, I do have the days of the week written down, but I don't necessarily follow this to a T. So this is just a whole bunch of ideas of things that I can pull together with the ingredients that I already have on hand. And I love having it in this little notebook, which is actually getting very full, but I can go back and there's just heaps and heaps of ideas and different bits and pieces in here that I can go back and have a look at, because sometimes when we're meal planning we get stuck for inspiration. So if I can go back and see what we've had in previous weeks, then sometimes I can get a few ideas. The other thing I like to do is have a quick look on Instagram. I have a little saved folder in there of all meals that I've seen that look really yummy and I'd like to try, and I use that for a bit of inspo as well. So these are all the things that I've got on hand that I need to use up and I want to focus on. Like I was saying before, I do have some salad stuff that we'd purchased earlier, but I usually keep that on hand for lunches. So typically we will do salad wraps and things like that when we're out and about. It's quick and easy, grab and go, and we can usually make them in a park or somewhere when we're off doing things during the day. I do have those bananas that I want to use up, have some peas and corn that have been in the freezer that I'd like to use up, and just like to keep rotating through those frozen veggies, and then obviously all the things that I just bought from the farmer's market. So curly kale, Tuscan kale, cauliflower, zucchinis, and I do have some chickpeas cooking today already. They are in my thermal cooker, so I need to be making sure that we're using those up as well. So this is what I have come up with for ideas for this week. I thought roasted cauliflower and chickpea curry on quinoa and rice sounded absolutely delicious. It is inspired by, I'll put some little pictures up on the side here for you guys. So some of these are coming from Instagram, bit of inspo. You guys can see what I'm thinking about. I also thought a carrot, zucchini and lentil loaf, like a meatloaf, but a veggie version, would be delicious with some mashed potato and some steamed greens. So I've got that Tuscan kale there. That sounds perfect. Maple roasted carrots with a cauliflower mash and some pan-fried kale. So we'll do curly kale, and probably just some grilled zucchini. Also sounds absolutely delicious as well. You can see there's a bit of a theme obviously going on with kale and cauliflower because I have that in an abundance, but that's okay. I can use the same ingredients and just sort of dress them up differently, and it's not too boring if you do that. Also thinking some baked potato bites, so just small roasted potatoes, except I can't really roast them in the caravan, so they're sort of more grilled under the grill. But anyways, season that with some Tuscan seasoning and some nutritional yeast. They are absolutely delicious, and I'll just do a warm kale salad or a warm kale toss on the side with some other veggies. So I could chuck carrot and zucchini and corn in there. All of these can be flexible depending on what I find on sale at the supermarket, if I happen to find some other veggies, but it'll work great with just the carrot, the corn and the zucchini that I already have on hand. I also thought a Tuscan kale and white bean soup, which I've kind of been hanging for this for a little while. When I saw the Tuscan kale at the market, that is what I thought of, Tuscan kale and white bean soup with some cornbread muffins. So I've done this one a few times before in some of my other videos. You may have seen these. Sometimes I do them as a drop scone, and other times I just cook them in the muffin tin. Really super easy. I've also got the burgers in there, so we may as well do burgers as something fun. And typically I like to include some kind of use it up meal, so beans, greens and rice. It's a simple one. I do it all the time. If you guys have been following along for a little bit, you've probably seen me do this a million times before, but it's quick, it's easy, and it's a family favorite, so stick with what works. So I'll be throwing some curly kale in that one, black bean, zucchini. If I can pick up a red capsicum, that would be super awesome. Some corn and some rice. We'll do that with some hummus in a bowl for dinner, and then the next day that is great to go in wraps when we're out and about. Grab and go. Just shove it in some wraps with a bit of hummus and it's perfect. So it's lunch and dinner. 2 birds, 1 stone. I really like that. I will probably also try and get some snacks baked this week as well. So I thought I could definitely do carrot and walnut muffins and maybe a choc zucchini bread or loaf. And they will both freeze really well. So I've got all of the ingredients for those. I could probably bake those up on the same day. I could pop one in the freezer and there you go. Pretty straightforward. Pretty heavy on the kale and the zucchini and the cauliflower, but that's okay. The other thing I will just say, if I don't get around to doing all of these, the curly kale does keep in the fridge really well, so I could probably bump 1 or 2 of these recipes back to early next week and that kale will still be good. Or I could, batch some of these in advance and I could put them in the freezer. So things like the Tuscan kale and white bean soup would be great to cook this week, put it in the freezer, and then I can have it for next week if everybody's a little bit KO'd out. But I think we've got a lot of variety there. We're going to change up the flavors, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. And that is our meal plan for this week coming. There you go. It's that easy. I will also say today's Sunday. By the time this comes out on YouTube, it will be Wednesday. If you guys are curious or interested to see how these meals are coming along, I usually post what we're having for dinner or sometimes breakfast and lunch over on Instagram. If we're not already connected over there, you can go and find me at Nikki Beale, and I tend to post a lot of pictures of food. I don't know, that's just what happens over there. Anyways, if you are curious to see how the meals have turned out, or you'd like some of the recipes, you can probably catch them over there if you are catching this video later on down the track. Go and have a look at Instagram. Might have to scroll back a little bit, but you should find a few of today's recipes over there as I cook them up this week. All right guys, well, that's it from me. I hope you are having an absolutely fantastic week. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time here with me today while we did a little bit of meal prepping, meal planning. I didn't do any prepping. Prepping for the week ahead though, I suppose. Anyways, and checked out what we were able to pick up at the little farmers market today, which was super exciting. I love fresh produce, and I love being able to go and get direct from farmers and backyard growers and all of that sort of good stuff. And I mean, how good were today's bargains? I was pretty excited about it. Anyways, that is it from me, and I hope to catch up with you in the next video. Until then, take care my friends. We'll see you then. Bye.